I always wait till that goes clear. All right. Hello, everybody. We're starting here 15 minutes early. Had a few people that were itching to hear who the keepers were. We're sitting in a little different spot because I guess I got lazy today. No, actually, I was out. My brother-in-law, the great AFL legend, Raymond Bailey, who's actually over there right now watching some football stuff himself. Just an AFL legend. An icon, if you will. No, he and I did some work at my mom's, so we kind of got back here pretty late. So this was a quicker, easier way to do it. Plus, sometimes I've noticed when any of us sit in the comfy chairs, like the way we sit, it really makes us look fat. I mean, I'm fat as it is, I guess. I don't look
Yeah.
fatter. On a serious note, though, not that many of you would know this. JB might remember him, but lost a former high school teammate over this last weekend. Matt Goebel. We played football together in high school. He was a year ahead of me. To be honest, in practice, he was probably the guy I hit the most because I was always on scout team defense when we were doing starting offensive line. So went to his wake yesterday. Saw a few of the guys I used to play high school football with, but just wanted to mention him. You know, it's always hard when you lose someone 48 years old due to that dreaded 6-letter word. So yeah, that's enough of the sad part, I guess. So here we are today. We are on our road to the 2024 AFL draft. This is the final stopping point before we get to the real thing. And we got all our keepers are about to be announced. They were all finalized at 5 p.m. We literally got our last one about 15 minutes to 5. Last year, I think it was about the same thing. So every year we got one person that goes right down to the wire. And in case you guys haven't figured out, if you don't turn in by 5 o'clock, the commissioner gets to make his choice. So I've never had to do it, and hopefully I never have to. But,
I wouldn't want that.
Yep. I mean, I guess it depends how much I like you, what your team's going to look like. But, yeah, so trying to think if there's any other bullet points. Oh, so trading will, right, so technically right now we're at a timeout on trading. And then once the final team is announced, then trading will begin again. The only difference is in Phase 1, which is now over, you can trade anything and everything as long as draft picks equal out. In Phase 2, you can trade a player straight up for a draft pick. Everything's supposed to equal out. You can't go a player for 2 draft picks. It has to be then a pick would have to be involved. Everything has to be heads up. But you can do the straight up player for draft pick, where in Phase 1 it's player draft pick for draft pick.
Yep.
So, any comments or anything you want to add to this?
Let's get this thing started.
So this will be done as every year in order as they were received. I think, actually I shouldn't say that every year. I think they've been done in the past. I think I did some of them in the order that they either finished or the way the draft order was, one of the two. So sometimes I think we did I think we usually did the best, sometimes last. I think I've done it both ways. So yeah, so we're just gonna make it easy. I guess technically I was the first one to turn mine in. Actually, I could have turned mine in back in December.
Me too.
My keepers. So
I knew who I was keeping.
So with that being said, my keepers for the 2024 season are quarterback. And by the way, this year Tony did not make any of his predictions apparently.
I did not.
So quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Running back, Jonathan Taylor. Wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith. Defensive back, Antoine Winfield. Linebacker, Devin White. And defensive lineman, Micah Parsons.
No shocker.
I mean, I think a lot of you figured out I traded a lot of my stuff that could have been keepable away. I think it's probably the most predictable lineup that you could imagine. So, any comments on my team?
Your wide receivers are insane. You need it with you got 3 first rounders?
I do. I have, pick 3?
3, 13, and 16.
Yep.
So, you're going to have to touch running back in the first round.
Yep, and hopefully another receiver.
I don't know which one.
Gee, I bet no one could guess.
No.
So, did you bring your Maserati today?
Maserati.
Yeah. Anyways, that might be a clue. So we will, with that, that's my team. I guess there's not much to diagnose there. Yeah, there wasn't anyone else I was even...
Yeah, there's nobody left on your roster.
So we will now go to our second team that was turned in. Here's the one thing I want you to say. You want to guess who the second team is? I should have you guess who the teams are.
I would have no idea. The second team in, I'm going to throw out Liam.
Nope.
Okay.
Second team.
I failed.
Kyle.
Kyle? Whoa.
Kyle. And Kyle's keepers for 2024 are wide receiver, Tank Dell. Wide receiver, T. Higgins. Wide receiver, Keenan Allen. Wide receiver, Mike Williams. Running back, Tyler Algier. And he'll have to correct me if I screw a name up, by the way. Kicker, Jake Moody. The New Orleans Saints team defense. And linebacker, T.J. Watt. I will say, I guess the only surprise for me probably came down to the 4 receivers. Only because I kind of thought he would maybe hold on to Bryce Young.
That's what I would have...
With the mindset of Bryce Young would have been his backup quarterback.
Yes.
Well, let's face facts. We talked about this off camera a little while ago. Kyle's one of those teams that we weren't sure if we would have been in that position, who we would have kept. Of course, he made the trade, which made him a little easier to predict.
Yeah, he got those 3 receivers for me for the fourth pick.
But, I mean, I think having this +3 is going to help a lot of teams. It's going to help them build their roster. He's got himself one of the top linebackers in the league, one of the top sackers, of course, pass rushers. Saints defense isn't too bad. I know he's big on Jake Moody. Of course, Moody's on a team that's going to probably kick a lot of at least extra points and field goals.
That's how I look at kickers too. Is what kind of offense are they in? Like the Bengals kicker is a good one. High scoring offenses where they're going to get in field goal range. You don't want the Carolina's kicker.
Now, in his case, I'd say with that number 2 pick, of course, he's got the number 2 overall pick. He's got to be pretty much running back here.
It's got to be running back or Brock Bowers. But I don't think he goes Bowers too.
Oh, I don't think. I mean, if he doesn't go running back, I'd say he'd go quarterback before he'd go tight end.
I don't think I don't think he'd go quarterback at 2. Unless he goes Brock Purdy.
But I mean, he also has what? He has several second, third round picks, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got. Let me pull it back up here. I was just reading his text here. Kyle has second round pick 1, 11, and 16. Third round pick 1 and 13. So he's sitting in good shape to retool his lineup. And
not only that, he can pretty much leave receiver alone for a while too. He can just target quarterback, tight end.
Yeah, I mean he very well could go Jonathan Brooks at 2.
Yeah. Or someone that wasn't kept.
Right. Which I don't know all those yet.
Right.
So
he doesn't. He does not know any of these.
I know none of it.
This was under lock and key. Guard Ray Bailey doesn't even know, and he was the guard. I mean, he was willing to give his life for this book.
I doubt that.
No, he said he would.
I highly doubt that.
No, I promised him if
he's ignoring you.
If he guarded it, I said the singer Adele and Law and Order's SVU Mariska Haggerty were going to come and help him out, and he was fine with that. Wow, he really is ignoring me. Either that or he's asleep.
I think he's just ignoring you.
Is he still breathing?
He's all right.
All right, so any comments on Kyle's team?
No, I mean, not keeping Bryce Young and keeping Mike Williams. Mike Williams coming off the big injury.
I mean, he sounds like he's going to be good to go day 1.
That's not... I heard that he...
Week 1, I'm not talking training camp.
Oh, okay.
But he's in a position where he could get a lot of, big catches and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got a good quarterback throwing to him if Aaron Rodgers is healthy.
So, that moves us to our third team. Which, do you want to guess?
Me.
Ironically, it is. Did you look at the book?
No.
Okay.
No. I just know I got mine in early, so.
So Tony's keepers are quarterback, Justin Herbert. Running back, James Cook. Running back, Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco.
That too. Tight end, Sam Laporta. Wide receiver, Puke Naku.
Puka Nakua.
That was done in first. Intentionally. Linebacker, Patrick Queen, which was acquired in a trade. Linebacker, Logan Wilson. And defensive back, Derwin James. Obviously there's almost every one of these guys was a part of his championship team. He's got, of course, 2 guys that were rookies. He's got a lot of youth here, of course. As long as Naku doesn't have a drop-off from season 1. And
I hope he doesn't.
Same with Laporta. And, as long as Pacheco's not drag racing down Dallas streets, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and James Cook, I like James Cook a lot. So, let's just face it, it's a tough offensive roster. It's a good, solid base. And, of course, you have some top picks to go with.
I have 2 first-rounders, 3 second-rounders, and a third. So,
of course, it's still going to be difficult to deal with, barring what happens. But, no, this is... I think, like he said earlier, his lineup was pretty much done after the season was over. So.
Yeah, when I traded...
Especially once he traded those 3 receivers.
Yeah, I traded Higgins, Allen, and Tank Dell to Kyle. So, because I knew I wasn't going to keep them, so I wanted to get some value out of them. So, package them all up, get the 4th pick.
All right. So that's Tony's team. Now we move on to Liam Nillette. Oh, I didn't even ask you if you... Well, never mind.
Hey, it's Liam.
What was...
You're picking... We're doing Liam's keepers now.
Right.
I'm just telling you, it's Liam's.
Right.
Okay.
I know, I forgot to ask too. All right, so Liam has kept quarterback, Dak Prescott. Wide receiver, DJ Moore. Running back, Derrick Henry. Running back, Saquon Barkley. Running back, Devin Achune.
A-Chain.
That too. The Philadelphia Eagles team defense. Linebacker, Levante David. And defensive lineman, DeForest Buckner. Let's face facts. He's going to have to hit the receivers pretty quick. But,
yeah.
He's in a very good running back situation. Of course, he'd like to probably add a young running back in there somewhere. Given Henry and Barkley's ages. And
I think Barkley's got a couple more good years, especially with him.
They both could, really.
Yeah. And then Liam picks 8th overall and 3rd round pick 6 are his first couple picks. So I think with the 8th pick, there's going to be some running backs because...
And given Dak Prescott, I think Dak actually was the 2nd overall quarterback last year as far as points.
Yeah, he turned it on at the end of the year. Him and CeeDee Lamb really did some work. So he's set at quarterback, set at running back. He needs to hit receiver. DJ Moore is going to be really good.
Oh, and definitely. He's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way.
The issue I have with DJ Moore is Keenan Allen's there now. He's going to take the underneath stuff. How much is Ndunze going to cut into DJ Moore's work downfield?
Let's just hope Caleb Williams is all. It really comes down to Caleb Williams.
Right.
Is what it comes down to.
Can he feed?
I'm not going to read into this whole 7 interception and 7-on-7 drill because
I'm not.
We don't, who cares? You'd rather have him throw 7 interceptions in a 7-on-7 in May than and have him perform in the fall. So I'm just hoping, because we're going to the Hall of Fame again, I'm hoping we get to see him play.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think we'll see Odunze. I don't know about Caleb Williams. Hopefully, at least I'm hoping a drive or something.
I'm thinking they might throw him out there for a series.
Any other comments on Liam's team?
Nope. Solid keepers.
All right. You want to guess number 5?
Let's go with Anthony.
It's Megan.
Huh.
Megan Millett. Of course, she's coming off a division championship. Her keepers for 2024 are tight end, Kyle Pitts. Quarterback, Anthony Richardson. Wide receiver, Kelvin Ridley. Running back, James Conner. Running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. Linebacker, Shaq Leonard. Linebacker, Quay Walker. Defensive back, Richie Grant. She's got a youthful team with some not legends, but veterans in there. I mean, she's got a solid nucleus. She can kind of do anything. Maybe target receiver first, but she can kind of go anywhere she wants with this team. As far as,
and she's
got who I think Kyle Pitts is going to have his best season yet.
Oh yeah. Kyle Pitts getting Kirk Cousins. That entire receiving core got better. I mean, Drake London's a good player. Kyle Pitts, he's going to be their one and two. Darnell Mooney's there now. Darnell Mooney is going to take the top off in a defense. So,
my only concern with what she has is it's not that she kept him. Is just I know they're working with him. Is Anthony Richardson keeping himself healthy?
Yes.
You know, if he tries to play the way he did, which of course started off, it's like, holy crap, this kid's good. But he's beating himself up.
That's the issues I have with running quarterbacks. Like, every time Josh Allen, I'm just using Josh Allen, he's a franchise quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he takes off and tries to hurdle a guy. It's not what you want your quarterback doing. Yeah. And Anthony Richard, I just don't like running quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's trying to blow through people like he's a fullback.
So, with Megan's team, the big guy that didn't get kept, if he's healthy, Nick Chubb is out there.
And I remember I'm like, are you sure yet? And then he kind of was like, well, the injury. And I really looked up, and I thought he was going to be good to go. And I read it, like, they have no clue when Nick Chubb is going to come back. So Nick Chubb will get drafted. He might slip way down. I don't know where he's going to get. I don't think he's going in our first round.
No, I don't think so either.
And not only that, they don't know what kind of condition he's coming back.
Yep. He tore his meniscus, ACL, MCL. I mean, it was a complete...
I'm not going to lie. If I would have had Nick Chubb on my team, I would have had him, like, at the end of the season, I would have had him pencil in as one of my keepers. I would have, because I thought, okay, this happened, like, what, week 1 or so, or week 2, wasn't it?
It was early.
It was very, very early. I'm like, he'll be ready to go by season start. Yep. They have no clue.
The issue was, it's the same knee that he tore up in college. So this is the second time he's tore up that knee. They don't know how he's going to come back. So
right. Well, like I said, I think she's in a good position. Where's she draft?
12th.
Okay.
Yep, she picks 12 in the first, second, and fourth round.
So, I mean, she's in a good position where she can, she might want to target receiver in that first round maybe. But
yeah, because she's got 2 running backs that fills her starting 2 running back slots and only keeping 1 wide receiver. She doesn't. If Kyle Pitts does well, she's got a positional advantage there with tight end.
Any other comments on her team?
No, no. Good choices.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have kept Chubb if I wasn't her. Yeah.
So you want to guess number 6?
Anthony.
You are correct. I guess you would eventually got it right? All right. So Anthony's keepers for 2024 are running back Joe Mixon, wide receiver Devontae Adams, wide receiver Justin Jefferson, wide receiver Mike Evans, tight end Mark Andrews, the San Francisco 49ers team defense, defensive lineman / linebacker Danielle Hunter, and defensive back Jesse Bates. I don't really have. I mean, I was a little surprised he didn't keep Goff.
That's the one I was just looking at.
I was a little surprised on the Goff
that he did not keep Goff.
But then, who do you take out? And I guess if you take anyone, it may have been Andrews just because of injuries.
I would have taken out Andrews.
But you could have made the argument for Mixon too.
I would have honestly kept Evan Ingram over Mark Andrews. With the vacated targets that happened in Jacksonville and how much Trevor Lawrence was peppering Ingram with targets last year. The guy led the league as tight ends in targets. But that's just me.
Of course, when Andrews is healthy, I mean, he's...
But at the same time, I would have kept Goff over a tight end in that situation. Goff's going to be one of the top tight ends.
Right.
The other player that...
Goff's a tight end now?
Yeah, Goff's a tight end now.
He says he's going to be one of the top tight ends.
Yeah, top quarterbacks. I think. Two other players that he could have kept with his roster. It's kind of hard when he's got those three receivers.
Perennial playoff team,
right?
To champion just 2 years ago.
I mean, when you have Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, and Devontae Adams, you got to keep those three,
of course.
So you got Zamir White, which is slated to be the starting running back for the Raiders
for now. I mean, I've heard there's some guys they're looking to trade for.
Well, right, but as of right now, Zamir White's the guy, and then Ramondre Stevenson, which is the running back for the Patriots. Another guy he could have considered, well, not really considered, but he could have a bounce back year is Jahan Dotson. With a quarterback that's not named Sam Howell, I think Dotson could do better. Yeah,
but you also have a rookie that you don't know about. And I like Daniels, don't get me wrong, I do. I don't know if coming in, I don't know if he's the guy day one.
Yeah.
I don't. He could be. But he is. I mean, of course, he threw, 50 touchdowns last year or something. But
look who
you got to give Kyle his weight. He also wants to run a lot.
Yep.
He's not like Caleb Williams, where Caleb Williams does want to throw.
He runs first, and that's the issue I have with Daniels. But if he can create while on the move and still throw on the move, Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin they're both going to have bounce back years, I think.
Yeah, overall, I think. I mean, he's still going to be a contender, of course.
Yep. He picks just for
near the bottom, obviously.
His draft pick.
Bottom of the first somewhere.
Yep, 14th in the first and second round, and then he doesn't pick again till the 5th round, so that could hurt him.
Yeah. So yeah, he's probably going to target quarterback pretty quick. Or running back. Yeah, he might. I don't know. Probably in the first, second round, it's got to be running back or quarterback. Either way.
Yep.
One of those two got to be quarterback, and then the other one's got to be,
Yep.
All right. So, moving. Who do you think's number 7?
We'll go Jordan.
You're correct. Incorrect.
Okay.
Incorrect. It was Ritz.
Oh.
3-time former league champion Nick Ritz.
This one's going to be interesting because
quarterback Patrick Mahomes. No shocker there.
No, really?
Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb.
Shock.
Running back Travis Etienne. Running back DeAndre Swift. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle. The Baltimore Ravens team defense. Defensive lineman Myles Garrett. And linebacker Roquan Smith. I can tell you that he was weighing keeping
Ayuk or Waddle.
Yep.
I talked to him myself
Yep.
about that, and he didn't know what he wanted to do with that. He was trying to move one of them. He didn't really care which one, but he wanted to get some kind of value for one of them.
Yep, this was probably the least trading that we've ever had in an offseason.
No, it was 2 trades.
By far. I do know that Ian had told me that he was working on a trade with somebody, but he didn't tell me ever who it was, and never came, obviously. Never happened. Obviously, look, this is still going to be more than likely a playoff contending team. He's got, the best quarterback in the league.
No.
He's got one of the best receivers in the league. He's got Etienne, who's going to get you a lot of points. DeAndre Swift's going to be the primary ball carrier in Chicago.
Yep.
I like Waddle personally over, and he just got a lot of money. So
yeah, the thing that I don't like Waddle is, and you can have the same argument for Ayuk, is you got Deebo Samuel, Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill's better than Deebo. Obviously, most people are going to think that. So that's why Waddle takes a hit from me, and I'd rather have Ayuk.
I mean, he's got one of the premier pass rushers in Garrett.
Yep.
And Roquan Smith, year in, year out,
one of the best.
Is one of the top 5 point getters and linebackers.
Here's the thing with Roquan Smith. He lost Patrick McQueen. So
that can hurt him or that can help him get more points. If you're going to help him get more points, or it could hurt him because, maybe one's taking pressure off the other.
right.
He'll still he'll still have a great season.
I mean, he was good with the Bears when he was there.
Yeah.
So,
All right. You want to guess number 8?
Brady.
Nope. Greg. Yep. The runner-up from 2023. Greg's 2024 keepers are quarterback, Josh Allen. Surprise. Running back, Rashad White. That too. Running back, Najee Harris. Tight end, Dalton Kincaid. Wide receiver, DK Metcalf. Kicker, Jake Elliott. Linebacker, I know I'm going to shred this, Azeez Al-Shaair.
You got it.
Defensive back, Cameron Bynum. This is probably, overall, I'd say this is the best lineup he could have put together. Like, you could make the argument either, I guess, Godwin or Cooper in place of Kincaid.
That's exactly what I was.
However, understand both of them get hurt.
Yes.
And with Kincaid, the plus side of Kincaid is it goes with Allen.
Yes. So he's got some kind of stack. And look, Stephon Diggs isn't in Buffalo. And I'm sorry, I don't like Keon Coleman. I don't think he's going to pan out to be nothing, honestly. But I could be wrong. But
and the Cameron Bynum. You'd be surprised how many games this Cameron Bynum won for Greg last year. At the very last moment.
Yep.
So
he was good.
That was a very. No, I think this is a team that with drafting right, he's got a solid nucleus here. Najee Harris, I think, is penned for having a big year. Rashad White is penned for having another good year.
Yep. So Brock Purdy's out there for the teams that didn't keep quarterback. Brock Purdy, since he came into the league, he's good. Mm-hmm. He's really good. He doesn't shock you, but he puts up the points.
Yeah.
I have him in another league where I have Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Brock Purdy, and I don't know which two I'm going to start because it's a super flex league. I was actually trying to trade Burrow.
I should probably have the divisions in place for me here. So yeah, Greg will be in he's got Kyle, Ergang, and Ritz, so he's in a tough division.
And then you got Amari Cooper and Chris Godwin still out there to be.
They are, but again, I don't think either one goes in the first round. I think they might go second.
Yeah,
look, Godwin performs when healthy, but when he gets hurt, he's out for weeks.
Yep.
Cooper, same thing. If he's healthy, he performs well.
If you got with both Godwin and Cooper, if you like Anthony, he has 3 starting receivers. One of those guys could be a 4th receiver for him in a flex spot or something like that.
Right. But no, Greg's in a good position where I'm thinking he targets receiver in the first round.
What pick does he have?
He's just before, 15?
He's got 15 in the first and second. He doesn't have his third. So.
But yeah, he probably targets receiver first because he's got a quarterback. He's got 2 good running backs, so he can kind of sit on that. He's got his tight end covered.
Yep.
So
he's gonna hit quarterback.
He'll hit receiver probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, solid team.
Yep.
Should be a contender for the playoffs. Definitely a playoff contender.
It's 7 this year, isn't it? Did that go through?
Yes, okay. It is 7. So only the top seed would have a bye. All right. You want to guess number 9?
Jordan.
Now you are correct. Jordan has kept wide receiver. And I'm going to shred this. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Got it.
Wide receiver, Michael Pittman. Running back, Brian Robinson. Running back, Elvin Kamara. Running back, Kenneth Walker. By the way, when I started writing that one down, I actually put a G in front of it. Kicker, Anders Carlson. Linebacker, Alex Anzolini.
Yep.
And the Indianapolis Colts team defense. I think the only surprise was that he didn't keep Tua.
Yep.
But
And
guess what? I mean, he can go. He's got the ability. He's set at running back, so he doesn't. I mean, he's got
3 running backs.
He's got 3, and he's got 2 receivers that are going to get a lot of production. So with when he drafts first,
2nd round pick 5. So a quarterback.
He can go quarterback, or he can go best receiver.
Yep.
He might wait for quarterback as his 2nd pick.
Yep.
I think Jordan's in a good position. Jordan's in the Eastern Division, along with Rich, Mark, and Anthony. So, I mean, he's got a solid nucleus. He didn't have a lot of top defensive players to work with.
No.
And the Colts defense has improved. Still room to work. And Anders Carlson, he's got his kicker out of the way.
Yeah.
So, which kickers are really important, too. I don't think people give kickers enough credit.
There
was talk about adding additional kicker for the following year.
I don't want it.
I know, I just made it up now.
Okay. There's T.J. Hawkinson. He didn't keep him, but he's injured.
Well,
I don't think he's going to be ready for week 1.
And, I mean, would you really keep T.J. Hawkinson over one of these running backs?
No.
So, yeah, solid. I mean, really, for the most part, all 16 of these teams are going to have, solid bases.
Yep. It's just depending on where they pick and what they do with those picks.
All right, so you want to guess number 10?
We'll go with Ergain.
Jimmy. The great Jimmy Chase. We're going to start with quarterback, Jordan Love.
No surprise.
Quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
He kept them both?
Wide receiver, Jamar, his cousin, Chase. Wide receiver, Deontay Johnson. Running back, Delvin Cook. Defensive lineman, Aiden Hutchinson. Linebacker, Jack Campbell. And defensive back, Justin Simmons. I don't blame him. I actually think he might have made a good choice in keeping both quarterbacks. He's set at quarterback. He is set at quarterback. He doesn't have to even draft one.
Looking at his roster, yeah, I would have honestly kept Jacoby Myers over Delvin Cook because Delvin Cook is currently not on a roster.
Someone will pick him. I mean, I've heard him going to Dallas. He'll end up on a roster somewhere.
I know he will, but
same with Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons doesn't have a team. Someone's going to sign the top safety. Like, it's surprising me actually someone hasn't already. It's got to be a money thing.
And he has the 5th pick.
I mean, he's got one of the best defensive pass rushers in the league in Hutchinson, and Jack Campbell's a young linebacker up and coming. Deontay Johnson, he went down to Carolina, right?
Yep.
Right, so he's going to be their top receiver there.
Yep.
His cousin, Jamar Chase, is one of the best receivers in the league.
And who knows if T. Higgins is going to be there.
I'm sure he'll be there.
I'm sure he will, too.
I don't think he's getting traded.
But does he sign his tender?
He'll play. Where's Jimmy pick?
He picks 5th overall, 2nd in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. So
you figure he targets running back, probably running back, or running back receiver.
Yep.
Unless there's a tight end that really blows him off the page.
And I could see in the 2nd round pick too, like a Zamir White being there if Zamir White's still the starter in Vegas. So he's in good shape.
Again, I think Aaron Rodgers could end up being a starter over Jordan Love too.
Oh yeah.
I think his harder thing is to be which one he starts if Rodgers is truly good to go.
Rodgers or Rodgers' replacement.
Yeah.
He just has a problem with Green Bay Packers quarterbacks.
Yeah. Let's see. So let's go with number 11. Who do you think it is?
Ergain.
It is Brady.
Brady.
Salute to you, my friend. My nephew, if you will. Wide receiver, George Pickens.
No surprise.
Wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. Running back, Kyrian Williams. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown. Running back, Josh Jacobs. The Pittsburgh Steelers team defense. Linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And linebacker, Bobby Wagner. I've said this to Brady multiple times. If he would have had a different quarterback last year, he would have contended for the championship.
I agree.
I mean, he had one of the most stacked offensive lineups, except for that important position. And I get it. He loves the Steelers. He loves Pickett. But that was his Achilles heel by far. Yep. And I mean, at one point, I think he was like 7-1.
Yeah.
He was leading the league, and then all of a sudden, it just dropped like a rock, and it was all because of the quarterback position.
Yep.
So, if I'm him, first round
pick 6, second round pick 13. Look, dude.
I don't know.
I'm gonna give him some advice right now. Go for Tua. Get the stack with Tyreek and Tua.
You know what? I don't know. Like, I don't know if
not at 6, but if
he might be able to. I don't know. I think he takes best player available at 6, and then get quarterback second round.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
not 2 in the first.
But
no.
If there's a quarterback he really really likes, take it in the first round. Just get it out of the way.
Yep.
But
that's
just understand that was your Achilles heel last year, and there might be at 6. I don't know if there's a tight end you take at 6.
No.
There's definitely receivers or running backs possible. So definitely research that. And again, if I was you, maybe hold off to the second round to quarterback.
But look, whatever running back or quarterback he takes is his flex position. Because he's got his starters taken care of for both of them.
Yep.
So it'd be his flex. So he's getting a top-end flex, which could win you weeks.
He's in my division, along with Megan and Ian. So, no, I think he's in a good position.
Oh, yeah.
Especially having that high of a pick with a team at a roster they had last year.
Yeah, it's a really good roster.
All right, so that was what? Number 11?
Yep.
Okay, so that brings us to 12. We're going through this faster than I thought we would. So you want to guess 12? Now you're starting to get down to the nitty-gritty here.
I'm just going to say Ergain again.
He's going to go Ergain until Ergain's picked. You're wrong.
Dang.
It is marvelous Mark Thompson. Of course, he was in the playoffs last year. Marcus kept wide receiver Christian Kirk. Wide receiver Jordan Addison. Tight end George Kittle. Running back Jalen Warren. Running back Breece Hall. I'm going to shred this. Linebacker
I can't pronounce that name.
Olikin.
Yeah. The linebacker that's like the best linebacker in the league. That guy.
Defensive lineman Max Crosby. And linebacker Terrell Bernard. It's funny, he actually reached out to me the other day. He's like, hey, you want to trade for Mostert? I'm like, no. I get why he was trying to get value for him, of course.
Yeah.
But
did you say Drake London?
I did not.
Wow. I think that's the one that shocks me the most so far.
Oh. I mean, Christian Kirk is a big catcher for him. I mean, you're not going to keep Drake London over Jordan Addison.
Look, I'm just being honest, and I'm kind of foreshadowing the draft. Ritz or Mark could have changed my opinion on the 4th overall pick.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It might be Ayuk or
Drake London. Will not change my opinion at the 3rd pick. Unless he's not there.
And if that happens, what direction are you going?
I've actually thought about moving up in this draft. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? How's that? Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Although, I'm not too worried about number 2. There's no way he's taking a receiver at 2 when he's got 4 of them.
Yeah.
But, well, anyways. So, and I don't know. I'm not too upset with Mark's team, really.
I'm not either. I
think, okay, so here's how you look at it. You had to keep Kirk, you had to keep Addison, I think you had to keep Kittle. The only argument with Kittle is he had injury history.
See, I would have.
You had to keep Hall. Jalen Warren had enough production to say he's worth keeping.
Oh yeah. I honestly think I like Najee. I think he's a good back, but I think Jalen Warren every single year since Jalen Warren has been on the roster, he's cut more and more into Najee's. I think this is the
Najee
year.
Still had 1,000+ year. I
think this is the year with Najee being in a contract year. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. I think Jalen Warren takes over that backfield. I really do.
I think Najee's going to turn it up. For this reason, also the reason you just said.
He didn't keep Singletary, too. Singletary is still a starting running back in the league.
No, Mark had a playoff team. Mark had a good roster.
Yep.
We talked earlier. He's like, I don't know what I would have done on some of these teams. Who I would have kept.
This is the team I was struggling with.
This is a one that you look at.
I wouldn't
Ritz is another one.
I wouldn't have kept Mark Andrews. I would have kept Drake London over, not Mark Andrews, George Kittle. I would have let George Kittle walk.
But when he's healthy, my God.
I get it. But I think Drake London with Kirk Cousins is going to change us.
Well, I think Mark knows. Mark has been in the championship before. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, look, I mean, when the last 5-keeper year, everybody was like, why did he take Mostert? Look, Mostert just turned around and
had a great year for him. It was one of the reasons he was in the playoffs. Yep. So I think Mark's in a good position. He drafts where? This is, by the way,
11th.
Hold on. This is the first year that he doesn't have any of now JB's picks.
That is right.
Last year ended the guy trade, so
that Christian McCaffrey trade is done now.
It was completed last year. I think a tear may have rolled down Mark's face when that happened. So yeah. Anyway, where's he pick?
11th. He doesn't have his 2nd round. Then he has 3rd round.
So picking 11th, I'm guessing either receiver or quarterback.
Yeah, he's got a touch on quarterback, but the quarterbacks he had on his roster, Geno, Justin Fields, Drew Lock. I wouldn't have kept any.
Have you noticed a trend that are surprisingly a lot of teams that didn't keep a quarterback?
Yes.
Did surprise me as well as they came in. So yeah, let's move on to number 13. You want to guess number 13? Even though he's already announced who he's going to guess.
Nick Ergain.
You're incorrect, sir. Number 13 was J.B. Muhlenberg.
This one's interesting.
And this is another one of those, even though he wasn't a playoff team, this was these were all injury based.
He was plagued with injury all year.
So, running back, Christian McCaffrey.
Shocker.
Quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Shocker.
Running back, Javonte Williams. Wide receiver, Nico Collins. Just got a pay raise.
Yes, he did.
Wide receiver from The Ohio State University, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Nailed it.
I was hoping he didn't keep him.
Kicker, Jason Myers. Defensive back, Reed Blankenship.
He's a good one.
Defense, no relation, by the way, to our favorite kicker.
My favorite kicker.
What the hell is his first name?
Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo Blankenship.
Who wore glasses when he kicked. He kicked for 2 years for the Colts.
And finally, he kept defensive back Jalen Petrie, who put a good year in for him last year.
Yeah, he did.
So, JB is like the perfect case of the 5-keeper situation. Like, you look at what his keepers were, it's like this was a playoff team last year.
Yep.
So, he's going to be a huge winner in this. He picks high, of course.
He doesn't have the 4th pick.
Oh, that was part of
first rounder.
I forgot. That was part of a trade he had with Kyle.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I got the 4th pick from Kyle. So he picked 2nd round pick 4, which in a 5-keeper year, it's still going to be good. Look, the first year, just JB wasn't in the league the first year. I remember because I didn't have 8 picks until the end of the 2nd round. And I ended up getting Mike Williams in the third round that year. So that's kind of, you can get really good players early in the second round very easily.
Yeah. No, I think he's in a good position. And if you're him, let me go back to that page. I mean, obviously he's one of the actually given, if you look at the history here or the track record, the way it's going, he's good at quarterback, so he can sit on that.
Yep.
I mean, he can go. I'm guessing he'll go receiver with his first pick.
I think
possibly if there's a really worthwhile tight end.
I think Javonte Williams is going to have his bounce back year. Yeah. Last year he wasn't healthy. His rookie year until he got hurt, he was really good.
All right, so now we go to 14. 14 is?
Ergang.
14 is Rich, and this is one of those teams that would be a difficult one to pick who you keep with. I know this is one actually that Tony was very interested in seeing who he kept.
I was.
Rich Nillette has kept for the 2024 draft quarterback C.J. Stroud. God, did I screw up and trading that one away? Should I trade Lawrence?
Should have.
Wide receiver Stefan Diggs.
Wait a minute. Didn't you get Lawrence from Rich years ago?
I got him his rookie year.
From Rich.
From Rich.
And then you traded Rich, your Ohio State quarterback, just to keep
Lawrence. In Lawrence, I almost. Let me finish this, and then I'll get to my comment.
Sorry.
Wide receiver Stefan Diggs. Wide receiver Zay Flowers. Tight end Travis Kelce. Running back. I want him to guess. Guess which of the three?
4. Is it Tony Pollard, David Montgomery, Gus Edwards, or Aaron Jones? All starting running backs for their respective teams. I gonna go Gus Edwards.
Running back David Montgomery.
I should have known it was going to be the Lion.
I actually would have kept him if I was going to keep one of them anyways. Kicker Brandon Abreu. Defensive lineman Nick from the Ohio State University. Nick Bosa.
I love how that one was an afterthought.
Linebacker Fred Warner. I mean, you look at this team and just think, how on earth did he not make the playoffs?
Right.
He would have made the playoffs in the 7th screen.
In under Megan.
Huh?
Megan squeaked in.
No, Megan was going to be in the playoffs no matter what.
Oh, was she?
If he would have beat her in that last game,
he would have been in the playoffs over me.
Yeah, you would have been bumped.
Yep. That's the way it went.
I mean, and talk about for him the Diggs trade to Houston.
See, I think that hurt Diggs.
Oh, okay.
Because look, C.J. Stroud has came out in the public and said his go-to receiver is Tank Dell. They just extended Nico Collins. Okay. Yeah, they traded for Diggs.
But Diggs is also a situation where Diggs, I don't know. I think it's going to work out very well for him. I like Zay Flowers a lot. I drafted Zay Flowers in the first round.
I like Zay too.
Of course, what can you say about Travis Kelce, future Hall of Famer?
You're welcome.
Again, I like the David Montgomery keep. I mean, Montgomery ran hard last year.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And him and Gibbs are a legit 1-2 combination. And really, if you watch Lion games, they almost alternate drives.
Yeah, I mean,
both Gibbs and Montgomery will get you a lot of points.
You watch towards the end of the year. At the beginning of the year, it was more Gibbs coming off the bench, getting very limited work. But at the end of the year, Gibbs started getting more goal line work, cutting in Montgomery's time. But Montgomery got hurt at the end of the year.
But Montgomery still was getting big carries.
Oh, yeah.
He still was getting...
Yeah, he was... I mean, there was a game he scored 3 touchdowns within like 5 minets.
No, that Lions offense is good.
Yeah.
So, Rich is in the Eastern Division. He's got George. So he's got a tough division for sure.
And he has
he's in a division. Okay, his division has 2 division winners along with another playoff team, and he was the best of the rest winner and just missed the playoffs. That's a tough division.
Yeah.
And, again, we looked at all their teams and it was like, who do they keep? So...
he did not keep Marquise Hollywood Brown.
He did not.
which is kind of a shocker
Again,
with
he
him
had-
going to the Kansas City Chiefs, Steve.
He had a roster on him.
Yep, he did. He
Had
did.
a playoff quality
And that's-
roster.
I won't be drafting Brown because I don't draft Chiefs.
Well, Brown, I don't know if Brown even goes in the first. Brown might be a second round pick.
Well, right.
But
No, he's not going to go in the
right.
first.
so now we move to who do you think 15 is?
Ergang.
It is not. It is Ian. So Ian kept for 2024 wide receiver Cooper Kupp, wide receiver Jaden Reed, quarterback Jalen Hurts, so good. Running back Bijan Robinson, our first round pick from last year, first overall pick from last year. Tight end Gerald Everett.
Ooh.
Linebacker Zahir Franklin. Defensive back Jordan Whitehead. Defensive lineman Javon Hargrave. Where does he pick?
First round pick 9, third round pick 9.
I really don't have a problem with what he kept. Everett is now... Is he a Bear?
Yes.
You know,
So here's the issue I have with him keeping Everett over the other tight end he had on the roster. Everett has to compete with snaps with Cole Kmet. Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison are going to be Kyler's go-to.
I don't know.
I like Trey McBride. If I didn't have Sam...
I had him at one point in my
I
team.
know.
I don't know. I don't just... If Everett didn't go to Chicago, I don't know. I could see him... I could see him having a decent season. And who knows? First of all, Ian is going to probably target running back right away.
Yes. That ninth pick is going to be probably Ramondre or somebody like that.
And I do know he was trying to make a trade with someone, so who knows? Maybe he was trying to improve that number 5 position, and he wouldn't have kept Everett.
It very well could have been. And he could still pull off a trade.
And Ian's another one of those teams, he lost in the best of the rest to Rich. And he was one of those teams all year that was right in that cusp of making the playoffs as well.
So I love the Jalen Reed keep. I think Jalen Reed is the Packers' number 1 receiver.
And the Zahir Franklin actually had good output, good production for him last year.
You're welcome for that one, too.
Oh.
I traded him.
Oh.
Zamir White last year.
Oh. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So many trades happened last year that kind of lost track after a while.
I make so many trades that how can you keep track of what I actually have?
All right, so here we are, the 16th and final team. Do you want to guess who it is?
I'm gonna guess it's Ergang.
My God, after the last 10 guesses, he's finally accurate.
He's the Tony killer. I gotta.
He was, although you finally may have broken that.
I think I did.
And you're no longer in your division anymore. So now we're hoping either Jimmy, JB, or Liam is the new Tony killer. I think you still play Ergang this year, don't you? I can't remember.
I
can't
haven't looked
remember.
at the.
All right, so with that being said, Nick Ergang for 2024 has kept quarterback Lamar Jackson, wide receiver from the Ohio State University, Terry McLaurin, wide receiver Deebo Samuel, running back Zach Moss, running back Austin Eckler, kicker Justin Tucker, linebacker
Shocker there.
linebacker Alex Singleton, and defensive back Jordan Battle. I think this is a solid base. And he is one of the big winners in the +3 because had we not had the +3, had we just gone with the 5, I guarantee you he probably keeps Tucker over either Samuel or Moss. This allowed him to keep actually 5 legit offensive personnel.
Yep.
He's in a very good... Where's he draft?
First.
Oh, that's right. He's the first overall pick. He literally is in a position where I think originally before I kept thinking, okay, he's going to keep Eckler, but he might not keep Moss. The Mixon trade, or the Mixon going to Houston, changed all that. Because when Moss went to Cincinnati, He's the starter. He's the guy
Yep.
in Cincinnati. He's got 2 starting running backs. He's
You
got
are
2 starting.
welcome, Ergang.
So he's in a position where, with that first overall pick, he literally can go either whoever the best receiver or best running back is. He's got the pick of the litter.
Right. And what he kept a quarterback, 2 running backs, and wide receiver. I honestly think he is the one that takes Harrison. I hate to burst your bubble.
I don't know. I think he's going to go running back. I really do.
I don't. I think he hits running back in the 3rd round because I have a 2nd round.
So, with that, shall we look at the top available?
Sure.
These are in no specific order. These were kind of more or less written down as your team, as I did your team. So, the top available are wide receiver Chris Godwin, wide receiver Amari Cooper, quarterback Brock Purdy. Of course, all 3 of these players came off Greg's team. Running back, J.K. Dobbins. Of course, he came off my team.
I don't think he's one of the top.
He's top
Nope.
player, top player.
Nope.
Top player. Potential 2nd round pick.
He runs with one leg.
Great player.
Don't get me wrong.
From the Ohio State University.
He was a great
Future
player.
Hall of Famer.
And he might shock people. I mean,
He'll be the starter in San Diego.
San Diego.
That too. All right. Quarterback, Jared Goff. Of course, that came from Anthony's team. Wide receiver, Quentin Johnston.
Trash.
I don't know.
Trash.
Wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Wide receiver, Brandon Cooks.
Oh, I forgot about Cooks.
Yeah, Ritz had some difficult choices. Running back, Nick Chubb, who probably won't be a 1st rounder, but he'll go at some point. Early. Someone's going to say, all right.
I'm set at running back. I can sit here. If he gets put on the pup, you can throw him on your IR and just have him sit there until he's healthy.
Quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
That too. Wide receiver, Gabe Davis. Tony's all-time favorite player.
Trash.
Before I go forward, I actually went back the other day and watched our 2022 with Guy. We did that one with Guy.
And I just kept saying Gabe Davis.
And you guys were just all over Gabe Davis. And you cut down Jalen Hurts in the same token.
Yep.
Well, you're wrong.
Jalen Hurts proved me wrong. I don't like him. Still.
Wide receiver, Cortland Sutton. Tight end, Dallas Goedert. Tight end, T.J. Hawkinson. Tight end, Dalton Schultz. Running back, Tony Pollard. Running back, Aaron Jones. Wide receiver, Marquise Brown. Running back, Gus Edwards. Wide receiver, Drake London. Bridge is falling down. Running back, Raheem Mostert. Running back, Devin Singletary. Hold your horses, Mark. Don't get too excited. Tight end, Pat Freiermuth.
Oh.
Who picks in front of Mark? Right in front of Mark in the 1st round.
I gotta look. That's the wrong.
I'll finish these last 3. Running back, Chubba Hubbard. Wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy. And the final player on our top list available is running back from the Ohio State University, Ezekiel Elliott.
Draft order in front of Mark. Me. He picks 11th, I pick 10th.
Could that would be epic if you... Oh, man, you're in the same division, darn. That would be epic if all of a sudden you just pick him in the 10th pick. I want to see that happen.
I just might trade Laporta. And, no, I'm kidding. Why would I want to draft a tight end?
You'll flex Freiermuth
every week. No, I only use if I play Mark. That's the only time I use Freiermuth.
obviously, if there wasn't injury issues, Chubb would be the first overall. Chubb would have been kept. I guess I shouldn't even say this.
Yeah.
Chubb would have been kept. So, if you're Nick, now you know. I mean, obviously Tony Pollard is going to get a lot of carries.
I
guess Nick has to make a decision. Does he want to go receiver? Or does he want to go running back? Pollard would be probably the first overall pick.
I don't think so. Not Pollard. Tajay Spears is too good for. No. If Tajay Spears can cut into Derrick Henry's workload, I don't think Tony Pollard is as good as everybody says he is. Personally,
I'm not the biggest fan. I think he's
of Pollard.
No.
Of Tajay?
No, of Pollard.
Oh.
I think he's not a lead back. I could just see him being the first overall pick because I think he might get a lot of carries this year. But off this list, who else would be worthy of first overall pick?
Marvin Harrison.
He's not on this list. We're not talking rookies.
Well, they're available.
All right, Nick, we might have to talk.
I really think the first two picks are Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors. 1, 2, and that leaves it to you at 3.
Number 2 is not going to be a receiver. He's a running back.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. I mean, you can... Honestly...
Nick, we might have to talk, man. We might have to make some trades here. I don't know what's going on. I might have to move into that number 1 spot.
He does have 3 first-rounders.
I do. I'd have to get at least a second round. Does he have a second round pick?
No, I have a second-round pick.
Yeah, that's kind of a deal breaker. We'll talk. I know I've kind of said to myself, I'm not giving up other future first-round picks. We'll talk. So... okay, let's look at this list. So all these players, let's look at the quarterbacks. You got Purdy, you got Goff, Tua. I swear there's one more quarterback on this list.
I thought there was too. I thought there was.
Nope, there was only 3 that I wrote down.
What about Kyler?
I know. I thought about writing him down.
I would have wrote him down.
I don't know.
I would have wrote him down.
He's a difficult one for me.
I mean, out of... Okay, let's do this. Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels. Both running quarterbacks. Look at what team they're on. Which one would you have?
Jaden Daniels isn't going to be a first-round pick anyways.
Okay, so I'm just comparing the rookies. Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams. If you're thinking about it, then Kyler should be on that list as a top quarterback for as many teams that didn't keep a quarterback. Kyler is going to be one of the top guys taken.
That being said, I'm thinking. Okay.
If Kyler is healthy all year long, he's going to be a threat. Look what he did when he was healthy before, when he had a true number 1 receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. He lit the world on fire, even when he had Larry Fitzgerald. He was really good.
I'm not opposed to actually taking Caleb Williams over Kyler Murray, given what's around him.
Right. That's where I would be if I was in that situation, looking at what was around him. But you got to look at what's around Murray, too. He just got Marvin Harrison. He's going to be one of the top receivers in the league.
He's going to be their top receiver. Okay, but then look at... Okay, Chicago's got 3 top receivers.
How much will they... You're right. If one of Chicago's receivers gets hurt, no big deal. They just slide the next guy in.
Right.
But if Marvin goes down, they just signed Zay Jones, so now that takes some pressure off.
So you're going to compare. Let me look at this right. You're comparing, and of course I love Maserati. You're looking at at Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Jones, and Mike Williams as a comparable comparison to Mike Wilson.
No, I'm not comparing them.
I mean, Chicago's got a better tight end situation.
I don't think so. I think Trey McBride beats both Cole Clement and Gerald Everett. Look what Trey McBride did at the end of the year last year when Hollywood Brown got hurt. He was their go-to guy. Week in, week out, he tore it up.
I like their running back situation better.
Who?
Chicago? Yep.
Nope. James Conner and the rookie. Trey Benson. DeAndre Swift couldn't cut it as a Lion, couldn't cut it as an Eagle.
No, he actually did cut it as an Eagle.
I don't think so.
They just chose to move on, I think, which they had to. I think that one came down to money as well.
I don't think DeAndre Swift is that great. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a quality running back, but to say he's better than James Conner is no. James Conner's better. Even though Conner's old and injury prone.
Oh, he's very injury prone.
So now you say Trey Benson or DeAndre Swift. I'll take Benson. I'll take the youth. Over a guy that gets hit in the backfield and he gets knocked down. Yeah, he's a good receiving back. That's how I view Swift.
I'd also say Chicago has a better O-line.
And with... Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, I'm not saying Chicago has the better offense.
Now, if we're going to compare video game performance...
You got to look at Joe Flacco.
Kyler Murray way over Caleb Williams. I'm not talking me playing you in Madden.
Joe Flacco won me the championship.
Yeah, he did win you the championship. You know that man a dinner.
I do.
He's a two-time champion in our league. Joe Flacco.
I know.
I mean, I guess I could see Nick now. You're right. I guess I could see Harrison going first overall.
Yeah, you look at the keepers and look at the upside of what's there. It's Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison's gone, so Kyle's sitting there at 2. He might have kept 4 receivers, but what does he value more? Tony Pollard or a Trey Benson or Jonathan Brooks?
Hey, Nick sent spoiler. He must have sent this. I wasn't looking at it. Spoiler alert, Tony. I waited to the deadline to submit my picks. You did.
So, with Kyle at 2, I think he takes Malik Neighbors, best player available, in my mind, from what's left. Unless he goes Drake London or Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that would give him 5 wide receivers and 1 running back. And Tyler Algier is the running back. So, unless Bijan gets hurt, Arthur Smith's not the coach in Atlanta anymore. So, I don't think Tyler Algier is going to get the workload that he got last year. I think it's going to be the Bijan show.
Yeah, no, Kyle definitely needs to go running back, second pick.
So that leaves you with Malik Neighbors. Or whatever running back, Nick Chubb? Nick Chubb? Take Nick Chubb.
I might be moving back in this trade, in this first round. I need to move up to number 1. Nick, we need to talk again, like I said.
Nick, we need to talk. I thought of a crazy idea, and I was trying to pull it off so bad. I was trying to acquire Ken Walker from Jordan. Then I was going to package the 4th pick and Ken Walker to Ergain for the 1st overall pick. Then trade you the 1st overall pick and get an absolute draft haul and end up with all 3 of your first-round draft picks.
I would have done that.
I was going to try and work something crazy out like that, and,
I wouldn't have done that. I might just set 3 and see what happens. Man, I'm worried. Oh my God. You guys are, okay, everyone's got to realize I have these 3 for, okay, these were intentionally done like 3 years ago to get Trayvon Henderson, who decided to play one more. I'm grateful he decided to play one more year. Don't get me wrong. He's going to bring Ohio State championship this year.
Nope, Judkins is going to do that.
But, that is a sore spot with me, okay? So on the EA Sports, they have their college football game coming out for the first time since, 2014 or whatever it was. 2013. And so on the normal cover, the standard edition, there's 3 players. It's the quarterback from Texas, Ewers, Donnie Edwards, the running back from Michigan, and is it Spencer Hunter? He's a receiver from Colorado.
Yeah, I was trying to think.
I don't know if it's Spencer, but his last name is Hunter. I know that. So that's on the standard edition. And it's like their faces and stuff, whatever. On the deluxe edition, it's got like the backs of everyone, like they're walking out of a tunnel. And it's got Edwards in the middle. And then I think Hunter and Ewers are like beside him. And then there's a bunch of other teams mixed in. And the Ohio State representative is Judkins. I was a little disappointed in that, to be honest with you. I mean, if anything, really, if you're going to actually pick one off Ohio State based off last year, it actually should have been Ibuka.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. Trayvon Henderson would have been the first running back taken in this year's draft. He would have been the first running back taken in this year's AFL fantasy football draft. Because then I would have probably definitely moved up to number 1. I think Nick and I got to talk. I don't know what I'm going to do to get that first overall. I got to get Marvin. I got to get Maserati.
Got to get Marvin. I don't need Marvin.
Even though I don't even need a receiver at this point.
No, you don't.
I mean...
If you moved up to 1, it'd be the same situation as Kyle taking Neighbors at 2.
The only difference is I have Jonathan Taylor and he has Tyler Algier.
Good point. I don't know. Tyler Algier had a good rookie year.
He did. If he didn't have Bijan Robinson in front of him, he'd be golden.
Oh yeah.
So those are our keepers.
What's funny is you never asked me what I was thinking it for, but that's okay.
What the hell are you thinking it for?
I don't know. I have no clue.
You know what this guy's gonna do, right? He's gonna trade with Ergang to get the number 1 so he can draft for Harrison.
I do have 2 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders. No, I don't want Harrison. Oh. He's not even actually my number 1 receiver in this class.
Neighbors?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who did the Chargers draft that frickin' in the 2nd round? Obviously, that's my favorite receiver in this class. I'm kidding.
McConkey or whatever?
No, he's not my favorite receiver in the class. I think
Kean Coleman.
I hate him.
That's what he's saying right now, people.
I think he's slow.
That's what he's saying now.
I don't like him.
4th overall pick.
Nope.
He's going Coleman.
No.
Well, with that being said, there was our keeper presentation. I guess the next time we'll really see all of you is going to be at the draft on August 17th. Right here live, people. Let's see. Who are we? Of course, hopefully things don't change, but we do actually kind of have a who we think is going to, or who we know is going to be here, and some that we don't know. So we know I'm going to be here. Kind of one that makes this whole thing tick, right? We know Jimmy Chase will be here. We know that Liam Nillette will not be here. He will be serving proudly our country. But his dad or his brother will be taking over those duties. We know Greg Noble will be here. We guess Tony Mize might make an appearance.
I think the champion will show up. You know what didn't show up in this presentation?
The belt?
Let me go get it.
Gotta rub this damn thing in my face too. First he gets me all worried I'm not getting Marvin Harrison. Now he's got to bring this into it.
All right. You can continue. I'm just going to sit here.
That's a nice belt, though.
It is a nice belt.
It's a nice belt, yeah.
It's got some fingerprints of me pulling it out of the trophy case.
God knows what else you've done with it. We also know this is kind of...
I had to sterilize it after I brought it home.
This is confirmed. This is confirmed. Anthony Sykes will be in the house.
Nice!
Nick Ritz. Nick Ergang. We know that Kyle will unfortunately not be able to make it, but he will be able to stream. And his dad has already said he'll be his rep.
Okay.
And we know that Brady will not be here. He'll be, of course, probably serving our country down in the New Orleans area. And it's not confirmed yet, but it's a good sign that AFL legend and icon Raymond Bailey will be his representative. We know Mark will be here. We know JB will be here. And we have confirmation that Ian Rice will be here. Jordan is up in the air. Jordan is an unknown factor right now. He could be here or he could be streaming. But he is definitely trying to make it here from Kentucky. And Rich and Megan are also unknowns at this point, although they are going to try to make it. Otherwise, they will stream, of course. And I think that's everyone. It is.
And for the past couple of years, I've been Rich's draft rep, so we'll continue that.
So, I have a few people I've thought about to get as representatives. I know if some of those people can't make it, that we just mentioned, like the Nolettes or whatever, I've thought about getting Patrick Lane, former member of the league, as a representative for some of these teams, and we could reach out to someone else maybe as well. So, looking forward to August 17th. Draft will start at 6 p.m. Be a 15-round draft due to the draft saver. Would have been 18 rounds otherwise. We're going to have pulled pork and pulled chicken.
Yep.
Another various snack items. Draft punch, of course. It's a staple in the league.
And this year, I'll be on time with the pulled pork and chicken. Last year, I ran into traffic, so I was running late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should probably be one of the first people here, to be honest with you.
I probably should be.
Because in case you haven't realized, the commissioner can't really just start walking away to go eat. I pretty much have to stay on stream for the entire time.
I understand that.
I like to eat fast and
And
early.
if I wouldn't have woke up late, I would have had it done
So-
in plenty of time. But
So, not even just less than a month ago, my wife and I were in London and Ireland. And on the flight back, it was a 9.5-hour flight from Ireland to Dallas. That's where we went first. And I was sitting there. It was during the day, so we left at like 12 o'clock Ireland time, which is like 7 o'clock, I think, here. And we're somewhere over Greenland. Beautiful view. I was taking pictures of it and everything. I started playing my music in my headphones. Trying to pick what song am I going to come out this year. So for some of you that weren't at the league meeting, I did a little.
Here we go with this.
I did an entrance theme, and I don't know. I've thought about maybe I could work this into actually doing it live, but I don't know how it really truly works. I'd have to someone like hold the camera and like watch me come in. And I don't know. I've debated still going with the same song I used. But there was a few other options that may have come up. But might stick with that Roman Reigns again. I don't know. DX came up as an option.
So let me guess, in the Hall of Fame trip, when we go to the bar, you're going to be sitting there watching the Raw event that's happening right down the road.
Well, first of all, it's SummerSlam, which is the second biggest event of the year.
Oh.
It is the WrestleMania of the summer. It is so big that in 2025, so next year, it's going 2 days. SummerSlam is going to be a 2-day event like WrestleMania.
I'd rather watch synchronized
So we
swimming.
are going to actually be in Ohio in August on a Saturday. Nothing to do. I have said to these 4 gentlemen, I'm going to use that term very loosely, we could drive to Cleveland. It's like a 45-minute drive, and we could go see the premiere in sports entertainment.
Let's go to Gatsby's.
And these guys want to go check out Cheers.
Or Gatsby's.
You know, actually, I was told by someone, just go by yourself. Do they really need you there? Do you really need them? No, I don't. But it's not as much fun going by yourself. And I guarantee you this. I guarantee each and every one of you this. If you went, you'd have a good time.
I'm not saying I wouldn't.
So
It's just not.
So Ian, Nick Ergang, Nick Ritz, you've heard it right here. Tony said he would have a good time. He's good to go to SummerSlam this year. So let's make this happen, gentlemen.
How much are the tickets? $400 a pop?
No, I don't know. I haven't looked them up.
$400 a pop?
No.
More than the entire trip?
That's probably 100 something, I'm sure. It's in Cleveland Browns Stadium. But yeah, if we go to a bar, I'm sure I'll probably have it on my phone watching it while you guys are doing whatever the hell you're doing.
Exactly what I said.
I mean, I'll take you guys to a strip club if you really... I can't believe we're talking about this on stream. I will take you guys if you really want to go. And I'll just sit in the parking lot and watch wrestling.
I'm just being a smart ass. That's all.
Tony's missing out on going to Gatsby's.
No, I'm really not.
Ironically, I think where we're staying, we're not that far from it.
Really?
Wow. I mean, we're a lot closer. We're only, what? I think they said it's a 15-minute drive. So, which is the closest we've ever been. But, thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you.
And hope we didn't bore you in the last 5 minutes. With that being said, we're again looking forward to seeing all of you in August 17th. We're hoping to have as many of you here as possible. So we at this point we're confirmed 2 will not be here, but they will have representation. So with all likelihood, if Raymond's here for Brady, we could have 15 in-house. And it's 6. Oh yeah, we could have 15 in-house if everyone else shows up with Raymond, because obviously Anthony is gonna be Kyle's representative. So yep. The most we've ever actually had, I think, is 15. So one day we're gonna have 16. That's the goal. But we're working on how the seating chart's gonna go as well. Make some movement around. Yeah. So thank you, and we'll see you all real soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon, Ergang.
You know, there's moments like this where it's kind of like, you know, it's like, and these guys, it's funny is like the Nick Ritzes and the Marks and all that, the Jimmies are always like, you know, Miller, you'd probably win the damn thing if you weren't picking all these Ohio State players. And here I am now, all freaking out. I'm not going to get Marvin Harrison at 3.
That's why I'm doing this.
Nick, we might have to talk, all right? I don't know. We got to figure this out. So, with that being said, everyone,